In today's interconnected world, no country is an island. What happens in one corner of the globe can send ripples across oceans and continents. For India, a rising power with a complex neighborhood, this is a daily reality. We are constantly watching, analyzing, and reacting to the shifting sands of global diplomacy. It is not just about our direct relationships with countries like United States, China. It is also about the friendships our neighbors are forging. Who our neighbors talk to, who they sign deals with, and who they consider their closest allies. All of it matters deeply to us here in India. This is not about being nosy. It is about strategic survival and understanding the forces that shape our own destiny. The relationship between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia is a perfect example of this. On the surface, it might seem like a distant affair, a bond between two Islamic nations that has little to do with India. But that would be a dangerously simple way to look at it. This is a partnership that has historically had a direct and often challenging impact on our region. It is a bond that touches upon everything from our national security to our economy and even the social fabric of our society. For decades, New Delhi has kept a close and cautious eye on the dynamics between Islamabad and Riyadh, and for very good reasons. To understand why Indians care about the Pakistan-Saudi relationship, we first need to understand the relationship itself. It is not a recent development. This is a deep-rooted friendship that goes back decades, built on the powerful pillars of shared religious identity, strategic interests. Since Pakistan's creation in 1947, it has actively sought to position itself as a leader in the Islamic world. Saudi Arabia, as the custodian of Islam's two holiest sites, Mecca Medina, holds a unique and revered position. This shared faith created a natural foundation for a special bond, one that both countries have nurtured carefully over the years, seeing each other as natural partners in the global community of Muslim nations. This religious connection was soon strengthened by a powerful economic one, oil. As Saudi Arabia's wealth grew exponentially from its vast oil reserves, it became a major source of financial support for Pakistan. For decades, Riyadh has provided Islamabad with crucial economic aid, deferred oil payments, soft loans, often stepping in to help Pakistan navigate its frequent economic crises. This financial lifeline has given Saudi Arabia significant influence in Pakistan. In return, Pakistan has offered its military expertise. The Pakistani army, one of the largest and most professional in the Muslim world, has often been seen as a guarantor of Saudi security, with its soldiers providing training and support to the Saudi military. To truly grasp the Indian perspective, we must move beyond the corridors of power in New Delhi and listen to the people. When you talk to students in universities across the country, Delhi-Bengaluru, a sense of pragmatic awareness emerges. Aisha, a 21-year-old international relations student in Mumbai, puts it this way: "We know it's a strategic game. Saudi Arabia needs Pakistan's military muscle. Pakistan needs Saudi's money. It's that simple. But what worries us is when this money funds radicalism that spills into our country. We see the headlines about terror financing. It's hard not to connect the dots. We hope our government is building strong ties with the Saudis to counter that. Move into working professionals conversation shifts to economics and opportunity." Rajev, a 40-year-old software engineer in Hyderabad who has worked in the Gulf, says, "Look, millions of Indians work in Saudi Arabia, the UAE. Our families depend on the money they send home. For us, a stable relationship with Saudi Arabia matters most. If Pakistan and Saudi are close, that's their business. As long as Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is investing in India and sees us as a key partner for Vision 2030, we are on the right track. We should focus on our economic growth and diplomacy, not get too hung up on Pakistan." Then there is the older generation. In recent years, the seemingly unbreakable bond between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia has shown some interesting cracks and shifts, which have been closely watched in India. The relationship is no longer as straightforward as it once was. A few years ago, we saw an unprecedented moment when Saudi Arabia demanded that Pakistan repay a $1 billion loan ahead of schedule. This came after Pakistan's foreign minister made strong statements pushing the Saudi-led OIC to take a tougher stance on Kashmir. It was a public and honestly embarrassing rebuke for Islamabad, signaling that Riyadh's patience was not infinite. Its support could no longer be taken for granted. This incident was widely discussed in Indian media as a sign of a potential realignment in the Middle East. However, relationships in international politics are like a pendulum. Just when it seemed the ties were fraying, recent developments suggest a course correction. In 2024 and early 2025, we have seen a renewed warmth between the two nations. Pakistan's new leadership has made Riyadh one of its first ports of call. This has been followed by high-level Saudi delegations visiting Islamabad, promising billions of dollars in new investments in sectors like mining, agriculture, information technology. For Pakistan's struggling economy, this is a desperately needed lifeline. News of a potential $5 billion investment package has been a major headline, showing that the economic pillar of their relationship remains strong. This renewed engagement is driven by the evolving ambitions of Saudi Arabia under Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, or MBS. The reasons why Indians pay such close attention to the Pakistan-Saudi relationship are numerous and deeply intertwined with our national interests. First and foremost is the issue of national security. For decades, India has alleged that financial support flowing from the Gulf, including from sources in Saudi Arabia, has been used to fund cross-border terrorism and extremist ideologies within India. While the Saudi government has taken steps in recent years to crack down on terror financing, the concern remains. Any large-scale financial package from Riyadh to Islamabad is scrutinized in India for its potential security implications. The fear is that even if the funds are meant for economic development, they free up other resources in Pakistan's budget that could be diverted towards its military or other anti-India activities. The second major reason is diplomatic. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation, or OIC, a bloc of 57 Muslim-majority countries, has historically been a platform where Pakistan, with Saudi Arabia's backing, has tried to corner India on the issue of Kashmir. While the OIC's influence has waned and many member states, including Saudi Arabia and the UAE, now have strong bilateral ties with India, the platform can still be used to create diplomatic noise. A strong Pakistan-Saudi bond means that the potential for the Kashmir card to be played at the OIC, however ineffectively, remains. Third, the economic angle cannot be ignored. It is one of India's top trading partners, a major source of our crude oil, and a destination for millions of Indian expatriate workers who send back billions of dollars in remittances. Any instability or shift in the region's geopolitics that involves Saudi Arabia is a direct concern for India's energy security and economic stability. Therefore, understanding Saudi Arabia's relationship with Pakistan helps India navigate its own economic diplomacy more effectively, ensuring that our interests in the Gulf are protected. When you listen to the diverse chorus of Indian voices, you realize there is no single verdict on the Pakistan-Saudi relationship. Reactions span a wide spectrum from deep-seated suspicion to a cautious sense of hope. The pessimists, often influenced by decades of conflict, see the renewed bonhomie between Islamabad and Riyadh as a negative development. They believe any financial aid to Pakistan strengthens the Pakistani state and its military, which they view as fundamentally hostile to India. This group points to history. Past generosity has often correlated with increased aggression from Pakistan. On the other end are the optimists, a smaller but growing group. They see changing priorities of Saudi Arabia under MBS as a reason for hope. Saudi leadership is pragmatic and business-focused, more interested in economic returns than ideological crusades, refineries, infrastructure, technology. They believe deeper Saudi-India economic ties will make Riyadh less inclined to support destabilizing Pakistani actions. They hope Riyadh might even use its influence to push Pakistan towards a more moderate and economically focused path. In the middle lies the largest group, the realists. Most Indians fall into this category. They are neither overly suspicious nor naively hopeful. They understand that international relations are driven by self-interest. They see Saudi Arabia pursuing a dual-track policy, wanting benefits of a strategic partnership with India's booming economy, while also wanting to maintain its historical influence over Pakistan for security and regional goals. As we stand here in late 2025, the prevailing feeling among most Indians regarding the Pakistan-Saudi Arabia relationship is one of watchful and cautious realism. The era of panic and alarm over their every interaction seems to be fading, replaced by a more mature and confident assessment of India's own strengths. The consensus view is that while the bond between Islamabad and Riyadh is historic and resilient, its nature is evolving. It is becoming more transactional and economic, driven by Saudi Arabia's own ambitious domestic agenda, rather than a shared anti-India sentiment. This change is seen as a positive development, or at least a less threatening one than in the past. The hope for the future, shared by many, is that this trend continues. Indians hope that Saudi Arabia's focus on economic modernization diversification under Vision 2030 will make regional stability a top priority for Riyadh. An unstable South Asia is bad for business, and as Saudi investments in India grow, the hope is that Riyadh will have a greater stake in ensuring peace. Many Indians would like to see Saudi Arabia use its considerable influence to encourage Pakistan to focus on its own economic development and move away from its long-standing reliance on cross-border conflict as a policy tool. This is not seen as a certainty, but as a hopeful possibility in the new geopolitical landscape.